All right. How you guys doing? You're not doing because you're not here yet because we just turned it on. All right. Little sound check. You think I'd have my sound down, but I don't because I'm changing locations in the studio all the time. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Ken Rose. I play guitar with the rock band Hero Jr., and we're here Monday, 4 o'clock Eastern, as always, on Orange Hangs. And hope you guys are all doing well. Ask me any questions about gear, touring, songwriting, production. Got some cool guests coming today. Maybe Anthony Turco is going to come answer some Valve questions. And as always, Blake from the Tone Mob is going to bring some fuzz news to us. And let me just give this a blast. If it's too loud or distorted, just give me a thumbs up or down in the comments. That'd be awesome. Thanks, because I'm just using my laptop mic. Hope that's not overloading. For those of you guys that are just tuning in, I'm Ken Rose. I play guitar in a rock band called Hero Jr. You can check us out at Hero Jr. HEROJR on Instagram, Hero Jr. Music on Facebook. All the info's here on YouTube. Yeah, welcome. My band has been together for about 9 years. We've toured over 850 shows. We're on coronavirus pause right now, so we're just finishing up a record. Hey Keith, how you doing, man? Hey, is the guitar distorting through the microphone? I've been playing orange guitar since I joined the band, and that is 8.5 years ago. Wow, long time. It is distorting. Shit, bummer. All right. Anyway, I've been playing in the band for 8.5 years, and I've been using orange gear for 8.5 years. I've been using an OR50 on tour all the time, and occasionally I've been using a rocker verb. Hey, how's this? That should be better. Yep, orange rules. Hey, Jeremy. All right, I'm trusting that we're not distorting now, so cool. All right, anyway, welcome. Ken Rose from Hero Jr. I told you guys I've been using orange amps today. I'm using a Rocker Verb 50 and a PPC 112. And no effects because I decided I'm going to sit on the couch and be lazy today. Wow, my eyes look black today. I have not gotten punched in the face. It's just awesome lighting. The other cool thing about today is that we are going to be giving away a cool set of orange headphones and a bunch of cables. So, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, I'll give you the signal and I'll take down your names. Hey, man, Anthony. Yeah, so hope you guys have had a good week. I've been having gear problems, not problems, but had a couple units go down, an interface went down, my laptop wasn't working great, so it's been one of those weeks. But it's really cool because I'm mixing the new Hero Jr. record, and I'm really, really excited. For those of you guys that don't know our band, we have been recording live in our living room, and it's been really bare bones, and we've really captured the sound that we've been getting live, and I think it's going to be the best record that we've ever done, and we're super excited. And so it's the upside, excuse me, it's the upside to not being able to tour because of COVID. So that's really awesome. So that's going to be coming out right before Thanksgiving for the holidays. So I'll give you a heads up on that. I did have a couple questions. If you guys have questions and you don't write them here in the comment section, you can always hit me up at my warped halo, MYWARPEDHALO on Instagram, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Some are similar, so but yeah, I always get asked what gauge strings I use, and I've been using 11s all the time. I use pure blues DNR strings. I love them, and they don't even feel like 11s on this guitar. This guitar is my number one guitar. It is a 1972 Les Paul Deluxe, but it's got the T-top standard mod, which back in 1972 you could have the option to have um, these instead of the P90 pickups that were in there. I think they were P90 pickups. Anyway, and I'm not using any effects, and I'm playing through a Rock Reverb 50. Everything's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty straight up. I don't change my EQ a lot. I really love the way the orange amps are tuned, and I've never had any problems. And yeah. Love this guitar, and I love this amp too. I got a few more questions, so I told you what kind of strings I use. I can't even read my own writing here. Oh, this was really interesting. This is from Sam. So he's saying that my songs sound really good at home when I'm mixing, and when I listen to it in the car or I listen to it on a stereo system, it sounds muddy. Okay, that's actually a very common question that I get when I give lectures and seminars. Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to take into account when you're mixing at home. One is how true or not your room is. And like I always say, I'm not really that technical, and I've had big studios and the luxury of having tuned rooms, and I've worked portable a lot and mobile a lot, where I just take my gear around and record and mix for people. And there, obviously, you got to be careful. The main thing is, if you've got a room at home that amplifies your bass, then when you take it out of the room, it's going to have a lot less bass. So your question was that it was muddy. So you've probably got a room that it might absorb the bass, or you're not quite gauging the bass at home. You're adding bass. So, or you've got speakers that don't give you the right kind of bass at home. Anyway, what you're probably doing is you're compensating for lack of bass when you're at home. And so then when you go out and listen to it on someone else's system or in the car, you're going to end up getting more muddy or more bass. That's one possibility. And I think what's really important when you're working at home is to find that range of sound that works across the board. And if it doesn't, figure out what it is. And there is a lot of experimenting involved. It's really hard for me to say unless I heard your mixes and I saw what you had at home. But obviously, if you've got too much bass on a system outside of your house and it sounds good in your house when you're mixing, that means you're definitely not getting enough bass in your room. When I mix, and I've got a home studio, and I do a lot of a lot of albums here, and I mix a lot, and I've got to know my room. But I always check on three sources. I've got a set of Cali audio monitors, which, if you don't know those speakers, they're called IN8s. They're really awesome. They're under $1,000. I think they're a better speaker than some of the $3,000 and $4,000 speakers that I've owned. They're cool desktop monitors. They've got one of the truest bottom ends that I've ever heard in a speaker under $2,000. And the cool thing about them is they've got room compensation switches on the back. So with the three different options that they give you, you're going to find one that works well for your room, which I find is really cool. They're great on the ears. They work across the board. Besides, being in a rock band, I mix and master for a lot of other projects, and they're great for all different styles of music. I think they're awesome. But I also always check on headphones. I've got a really good pair of Klipsch headphones. I've got a set of orange headphones that work really well. And just, when you go between your big speakers and your headphones, it should sound similar. And if it doesn't, something's probably not translating through your big speakers, because if that's what you're mixing on. So it's a really good idea to get to know your mixes, and not only see how they pan out in different rooms, but you can tell. It doesn't mean you have to fix up your room. Sometimes just baffling off the corners in your room. If you don't have any money, you can use towels and sheets and pillows. And if you have a little extra money, you can get some foam. And you'd be totally amazed what happens when you take the corners out of your room, because the corners absorb and reflect your sound and send it back to you. It depends where your speakers are placed in the room. I mean, I've got mine placed right against the wall, and it works well. But I did have some baffles built, and I hang them from the roof. But you can do anything at home without spending a lot of money, and it should sound good. And when you check your mixes on headphones, try and check them at a lower volume, because most headphones start to change their sound as you turn it up. There's not a whole lot of super super dry headphones. The orange headphones are really good, I think. And I've been using Klipsch headphones for like 8 years, and I find that I I'm a real fan of listening to everything dry. Um, and so I really depend on having a sound where, if it sounds dry and clear in the source that I'm listening to, that it's probably going to be that way outside of that source. And the other thing that I think is really handy, and I've always done this, is using a lower priced speaker and listening in mono. And what I what I use for my mono speaker, these are $80 speakers. They're just simple Klipsch USB speakers, but they are the dry. I mean, they're really heavy. They're solid speaker. They're super super dry. And when I listen to this speaker in mono at a low volume, I can really double check on my EQ. It's got super good low end. And if it sounds pretty good across the board on those three, then I'm ready to master. And I hope that answered your question. I was running all over the place, but just be aware of, you know, the different, if you've got too much highs when you're listening in a car, it probably means that your room is eating some of the highs and you're adding a lot of highs. And I just think it's really a taste thing, first of all, and second of all, it's a real trial and error. I mean, I learned all of my technical stuff just by trial and error and what sounds good, and you've got no better tools than your ears. So yeah, I hope that works good. And now I see that we've got Blake here, so let's welcome Blake. Hey man.
Hello. How's it
How
going?
are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Tired today. Had some gear. One of my focus rights just didn't turn on yesterday,
Ah,
which was fun. And my laptop was doing weird shit too. So one
fun.
of those. I'm not a fun person to be around when I can't get shit up and working right.
I know the feeling.
And
I do.
I'm not in the studio where I could just ring 0 and have the tech come in and take care of it, put a new one in here right away.
Beep.
No, it's not happening here. So,
No, I hear you.
how are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. But been a pretty productive morning. Just posted a new episode with Dan from Old Blood Noise, and recorded another podcast with Wampler, and I'm getting ready to shoot a video. So.
Oh, cool. So let me stop you real quick there. And for all you guys that are just tuning in, this is Blake. He's got a great podcast called The Tone Mob. He's out in Oregon. He does a lot of different gear stuff. He's very knowledgeable about all kinds of gear, guitars. He's a good dude. And yeah, check out his podcast, and his Instagram is The Tone Mob. And everything he does is cool. And okay, so sorry.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Just wanted them to know who was talking.
Right, yeah, it's just random guy shows up.
Then you get those comments like, who's that dude?
I'm a dude from the internet. But yeah, it's been a productive morning so far, so hopefully I can keep that theme rolling. So we'll see how it goes.
The productivity theme.
Yes.
I saw that you had one of Aisha's pedals.
Yeah. That's what I was actually bringing to show everybody today.
Oh, cool.
I just picked this up from the post office. It's a Atari Fuzz by Low Sounds. Awesome. And that's the video I'm going to work on today. It should be a quick video because it's just a one knobber. But yeah, it's a one knob simple fuzz circuit that is really responsive to your guitar's volume knob. It can get really blown out and crazy, but I was actually able to get some pretty nice, more chill sounds out of it by backing my volume knob off on my guitar. And so it should be a pretty quick video to shoot, but it's a really fun pedal, and I really enjoyed that episode with Aisha. Will be coming out next week, and we had a really good conversation. So thanks for hooking us up. That was fun.
I love those. I love the way those fuzzes look. So what if you were going to compare it to something? I know she's really original with her work, but if you were going to how does that sit? Like what guitar would you say it sits the best with?
I personally think it's best with so far. I think it's best with some milder like single coils. I was actually playing it with this guitar this morning. This is my Roni Oceana, and I know those look like humbuckers, but they're not. They're single coils.
They're disguised. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're in disguise. They're like a Supro style single coil made by Roadhouse pickups, and I think they sound really awesome. They're really uniquely voiced. Ken over at Roadhouse actually designed all of the pickups for the current Supro line. But these are the ones that he himself made for this guitar, and they sound unreal. But they're pretty low output. So yeah, I would say for this fuzz, that's what you want. You don't want to be hitting it with like humbuckers. I mean, you can. It's just going to get more squishy and more less reactive with a hotter signal. So something lower output, I think, would be best for most people. This is just a generalization, but
I'd want to hang that on my wall and play it at the same time.
I know it's so cool looking, right? Like,
oh yeah, it takes power as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
She's so big it's just on not doing
one
batteries.
Fuzz knob.
What's that?
One fuzz knob. That's it.
That's it.
That's so all. Cool.
Yep. Super simple. Just like, how loud do you want it?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool when you plug it in. Well, maybe I can show you. I don't know if the cable will reach. Let me try. Oh yeah. Here we go. The light comes on.
Oh, that's
center there.
That's really awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear that when you do your review. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I'll probably have that up later today, so it'll be over there on YouTube for anybody that wants to hear it.
Right on.
Short, sweet video.
All the fires are done?
Mostly. They're still burning. They're very much more reduced. We had some really heavy rain, fortunately. And
Cool.
yeah, so it's actually beautiful outside right now. So that's a nice change. We had some really bad air for a while.
Awesome, dude. Well, thanks for coming by. And as always, you're the man.
All right, talk to you next time, man.
Can't wait to see what you have next week.
Later.
All right, dude. Have a great day. See ya. That was Blake from the Tone Mob, and we've been having him on just to talk about a different fuzz pedal every week, pretty much. He's been pretty reliable showing up. For those of you guys that are just tuning in, my name is Ken Rose. I play guitar in a rock band called Hero Junior, and I've been using Orange for 8.5 years. I'm a Les Paul dude, and Orange goes great with Les Pauls. And here's the RV15. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a giveaway. We got enough people for that to have people fighting for some gear. Can I do the riff from 30 Foot Wave? Jesus, man, we haven't played that song in forever, and I don't have a fuzz box, but I'll do it anyway. All right, there you go, Keith. We got to play that one again. We're gonna do a live streaming show sometime this year, I think, or early next year, and so we got to go through about 30 old songs, and yeah. But you're gonna love the new record, Keith. It's gonna be awesome. We're very, very, very excited. All right, so let's see. I get to play Santa Claus during a pandemic in September. So we've got a 20-foot cable. Got to give you more than that. A 20-foot cable. How about 2 3-foot cables? And a set of connector cables. So that's a pretty good thing going on. And they're orange. So you're not going to lose them at a gig. So how are we going to do this? All right. Whoever... Oh, this is a good idea. Okay, so you guys, I'm sure you're all on your phones. So if you go, the first person that goes to my Instagram at my warped halo, MYWARPEDHALO. It'll be like a race, like when we were kids and had this Easter egg scavenger hunt, like that kind of thing. Not. Anyway, yeah, whoever gets there first gets this cable pack. So I'm going to check in a second, and I'll let you know who got there first. So on Instagram, if you go to at my warped halo and just say cable, whoever's first on my list is gonna get the cable, the whole set of cables. You're gonna get one, yeah, you're gonna get one 20-footer, two 3-footers, and some connector cables. So you can thank Orange for that. They're awesome. So these are rad looking cables. So here's the first package. At My Warped Halo on Instagram, whoever runs there first, kind of like a race, gets it. Oh, cool. I guess Anthony got my email. So gonna have another friend on to have a little chat for a second. Hey, dude.
How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. A little tired today, but good.
It's a Monday.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels like a Monday today.
Very typical Monday. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Definitely.
Hey, so you guys, if you don't know Anthony Turco, he's got a company called Amp Turco. He's a tube specialist. He does all kinds of amp stuff, guitar stuff. He builds a bunch of stuff. Tell everybody what you do because it's going to be better than what I said.
Okay, so I'm kind of like a part-time amp tech, small modifications and stuff like that. I build. I started really building. With the whole thing was guitar and bass harnesses. The wiring controls and everything like that. Got really into it. Measure all my components, very specific what I use, and I make sure I'm very transparent to the customer, so they know exactly what is being used in their guitar, and I try to explain it the best I can to them, you know what I mean, so they have a full understanding as best they can with what's going on there. Started making speaker cables recently also too, starting a couple new designs with that, and really looking at some instrument cables now, trying to source the correct wire and everything for that.
Yeah, you sent me a speaker cable. It rocks. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I think I could actually pull on it and it won't break.
Yeah. The heat shrink that I use is like dual wall, double adhesive, and it's like it almost dries, like cools down almost like a plastic. So yeah, I'm kind of in between with it. It's great because it's like super durable and everything like that. But at the same time, I feel like some people might think it might be like too stiff. You know what I mean? Like if they have a tight spot behind.
It's great. I would take it out and show you, but I got my amp on right now, so
yeah. No, I hear you.
Hey, the main reason I buzzed you to come on is because I noticed on the Orange users Facebook group there was a discussion about replacement tubes for that little
micro dark.
Yeah, and I knew that you would have something cool to say because I mean it's total taste and everybody's got an opinion, which is totally cool. But you've been doing it and you've really been specifically choosing tubes for Orange amps. So what's your verdict on that? What did he want to do actually? He just wanted to change tubes, right?
Yeah, he's just looking to try a different tube in the preamp section of that amp. There's no tubes in the power amp section of that. It's one of the hybrid amps.
Yeah.
And I did own a micro dark for like about 2 years, and they are absolutely incredible. They're a beast. There's no doubt about it. And what I found, just because I always have like tubes on hands from doing repairs and everything like that, so I did a couple swaps on that amp just in the preamp section there, and Tongue Soul was quite a beast. The Tongue Soul 12AX7. I always feel that the Tongue Souls have quite a bit of gain on tap. I like JJ's too. JJ's tend to be like a little tad darker to me, to my ear and everything like that, but in a good way. And I think they work really well with Orange circuits. But Tongue Soul definitely have a little more gain. It just gets like pretty nasty sounding quickly. You know what I mean? And I always thought that sounded good. So that's what I recommended to him to try. It's fun to go down that rabbit hole of tube swapping and everything like that and hearing how it's different and everything.
I don't even know that amp. How many watts is that? Is it like 5?
20.
It's 20.
Yeah, it's one of their hybrid micro dark.
Yeah.
But man, through a 4x12, it's a ripper. It's a beast. It sounds unbelievable.
Wow. Can you do a band rehearsal with that?
I think you'd be, if you had a heavy drummer, you'd be not handling it, but I guess it's possible. I mean, if you were micing it up, obviously, you know what I mean? It would definitely sound incredible, but it is, don't get me wrong, it is pretty loud. I was actually surprised how loud it was once I had it hooked up to my 4x12 and everything like that. It was pretty impressive.
Wait, we got somebody asking something and I can't even
Okay.
see. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at my warped halo on Instagram. MYWARPEDHALO. If you need that. What else is new? What have you been building lately? Any cool orders?
Yeah, I did quite a bit Telecaster harnesses lately, and I landed into a pretty good patch of some vintage harnesses for the tellies, and I landed a really good block of the Black Beauties, the Sprague Black Beauties, like I've been using for the Gibsons, the Les Pauls and SGs, and just about anything that would be using like a .022 UF capacitor for mostly for humbuckers and P90s and stuff like that. So
That's
I
cool.
got pretty lucky on eBay there the other day.
I've tried everything in my. I've got a '70s telly. It's just a straight up one,
Right.
and man, it's with tellies and strats and me. It's like there's just no way to get rid of the noise when I'm not playing. It's like when I'm in the studio recording, it's always got to turn a little bit sideways. I never use telly with the band, but if I'm doing an album for somebody that needs that sound, it's like, man, it would be so cool to find because you can't even. I think you can't wax telly pickups. It's like nothing's
Well,
gonna.
yeah, you could. They're wax potted. The problem with the Telecaster is the bridge plate, like the ashtray style plate, the
Yeah,
old school style plate.
yeah,
So what'll happen is if that's not totally flush to the body of the guitar, it'll actually cause some vibration, and it'll actually make the pickup sound like it's microphonic.
yeah.
There's the million different things you could do. Some people put like a little foam in there to make sure it's squished and touching good, but I kind of like that about the tellies. Don't get me wrong, they get out of control, especially if you're playing with a lot of gain and stuff like that. You definitely need like a noise suppressor or something like that. But to me, they kind of sound really raw when they're like that. It's very,
Yeah, I
very,
mean, I love, and it's really tellies sound killer with orange amps.
yes.
They're really really clear.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I'll plug it in and say, hey, I got a question for you. Does the Dual Dark 100 need to be rebiased with every retube? He's getting mixed messages. He's not sure what the right answer is.
Okay, so anytime you're going to change power tubes, and I mean anytime, you can even buy the same set, the same brand that you had in there, still got to do a proper biasing for power tubes. Preamp tubes, you can plug in and out of there all day long, as long as you're using the correct preamp tube for the correct slot. You know what I mean? Like for the reverb on the Rock Reverb, the reverb tube is a 12A T7. Now your preamp tube for like the dirty channel is a 12A AX7, 12A X7.
Right.
So you just got to make sure like you're doing that. But with power tubes, I always say always a proper bias, because even if you get a matched set, there's no way to know that matched set is matched to your old set. You know what I mean? All it means is a matched set is that when you go to bias those, both of those tubes are going to be very close to one another, because most amps have only one bias pot or bias wheel on them.
Right.
The Rock Reverb MK3 has got individual bias wheels for each power tube. So getting a matched set is really not necessary, because you end up doing the matching itself when you're doing the biasing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would say always, definitely, you're changing the power tubes, proper bias is needed.
Cool. And for those of you guys that are where are you again? You're not in Philadelphia.
I'm in Scranton, near Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, if you're near Scranton or you want to get some more information about what Anthony does, he's at Amp Turco, AMPTURCO, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And he's on Instagram and he's doing some cool shit. I think it's really cool what you're doing. And
thanks, man.
We've said it before on here, but I think we get different viewers every time we do the show. We got a little time. Tell everybody real quick again how to make your Rock Reverb 50 just one bit closer to Black Sabbath, because that tone that you've got out of that is really cool.
Thank you very much. So out of the gate, the Rock Reverb MK350 comes with EL34 power tubes. I did a switch to KT88 power tubes, and it was like night and day difference for me. It was like it just added so much strength to the back end of the amp, to the power section. It got really aggressive sounding. Don't get me wrong, the amp sounded fantastic with the EL34s as well, but I personally believe they should have been shipping these amps with KT88s. It's like, it sounds really mean and nasty in a good way.
Cool. And you, I think somewhere on your social media, you've got your recipe for what you think is a good tube combination, right?
Yeah, I have. I mean, if anybody asks me, I could always share my data sheet with them, but I think I've posted it quite a bit on the Orange group and stuff like that. I went through a lot of different tube swapping, and the recipe I came up with, seemed to work very well for. I love Sabbath kind of tone, stoner rock, that kind of 70s kind of rock and stuff like that. So that's always what I really try to get after. You know what I mean?
Right on, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. We'll have you again for sure. And everybody, if you need some information or need some stuff for your guitar, check out Amp Turco on Instagram. Right on, dude. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Hey, we're back. I'm always laughing when I'm talking to the technical people because I am so untechnical. I really, for whatever reason, I definitely didn't learn about the inner workings of my instrument. So if it wasn't for people like that and people that I've met along the way, I wouldn't know shit. And so it's really cool. And now that I took my Telecaster out, I got to play it. I haven't played this guitar in a while. So, whoa. That was awesome. Let's see if we're in tune. Whoa, this is a great guitar. I love this guitar. So now I'm just playing straight. This is a 74 Telecaster, playing it through my Rock Reverb 50. For those of you guys that are just tuning in, I'm Ken Rose. I play guitar in a rock band called Hero Junior. I've been touring with Orange Gear for 8.5 years, and we've done about, I don't know, a little bit more than 850 shows. You can check us out, www.herojuniormusic.com, or on Instagram at Hero Junior. That's HEROJR. All right, it's been a long time since I've played this guitar. Telecaster through a Rock Reverb 50 and a PPC 112. Yeah, I'm still a Les Paul guy, but I definitely love this Telecaster especially. All right, so back to the questions, and we can also find out how much time do we got. We're gonna do some more giveaways if you hang out. All right, let's see if somebody won some cables. Okay, Olga won. So if you're listening, Olga, you got to give me your address and I will send those to you. All right. There was 3 other people, so I'm going to make this one a lot easier for you. So I'm going to give away, let's see what else we got here. All right. I'm going to give away another 20-foot orange cable, a 3-foot cable, and some connectors. And these are in orange and black. These are good for Halloween, orange and black. So whoever puts their name in the comments next instantly gets these. That's the easiest way and the quickest way to do this one. So out of all of you zillions of people watching, whoever puts that next is going to get it. All right. So let's get back to a couple other questions that I got. We did strings. We did the recording stuff. I can barely read my writing. Oh, here's an interesting question from Pete Q. Do you ever write outside of your genre? Yeah. Okay, Keith, you won. There you go. You get the cables. I'll get your address later. Do I ever write outside of my genre? Yeah, it's really interesting how I can explain a little bit how I even got into songwriting. So I started out being a total rock guy. I was in bands, and that's all I wanted to do. And when I was in high school, a couple people recommended that I try songwriting, and I started writing songs, and I started learning a little bit about songwriting, and I was involved with some people that were really inspirational and encouraging me to keep going. And so I had a lot of experience working in a studio where they were doing all kinds of music, pop music, singer songwriter music, a little of everything. And there was really a time there where I almost stopped playing guitar completely because I was writing songs so much on acoustic guitar just from the ground up. And yeah, so writing outside my genre, I really do think that no matter what genre you're in, a good song is a good song. And I think it's been proven by so many so many different situations where someone's done a pop version of a Metallica song or someone's done a heavy metal version of a Britney Spears song. I mean, it really doesn't matter as far as songwriting goes. And I know everybody's got their own way to do it, and everybody's got their own taste in music. But a song is lyrics and melody for the most part. How it's produced is a different thing, and people produce. Production is definitely a big part of songwriting, especially for modern pop music. But for me, the main criteria is if you've got great lyrics and you've got a great melody that creates an atmosphere with chord changes. You could turn that into a heavy metal song. You can turn that into a pop song. It really doesn't matter. And I think I'm really, really grateful that I had a chance to work for a bunch of different publishing companies. And I my job used to be, traveling all over the place, writing songs with people in America, in Europe, all over the place. And I didn't, walk into the room with a studio and a bunch of gear. I had my acoustic guitar and the artist there, and I wrote all kinds of different songs and all kinds of genres, and we did everything on guitar, even stuff that ended up having no guitar in it. It was just written, like we were sitting around the campfire. So I definitely like writing outside of, a comfortable genre, and I really love the experience to do things I've never done before. I've gotten to write in foreign languages, and I've realized that even if I don't speak the foreign language that I'm writing in, it's all about flow and sound. And the longer that I've been writing songs, I can sit down with an artist in France and I can come up with a melody and a sound that works in French. And if the person I'm working with is a good lyricist, they'll just get a vibe on what's being written and put it in their own language. So for those of you that are not in English speaking countries, it's something that I've always said when I give lectures and when I've taught in the colleges, when I've given songwriting classes. Everybody seems to want to be writing songs in English because you hear a lot of English songs on the radio. it seems, quote, and I just, glamorous. But if you grow up in another speaking another language as your mother language, and you're writing songs and you love international music, if you can come up with an international style of music with your own native language, you've got a really good chance of getting something happening in your country. And there's a lot of people that have really good success in their country with their language, and then they move on to write in English. I'm not bashing. I'm not saying English is the best language to write in at all. I'm really saying that if you grow up in Spain and you've been listening to Metallica and heavy metal and that genre of music, and you're a good songwriter and you can convey your ideas in your mother language, you're going to touch a lot of people like that. And you know, I know that we get a lot of viewers from all over the world at Orange. So it's something I really, really encourage, that if you want to have a career in the music business and you speak another language, definitely check out, make an experience, write in your own language, find artists that are singing in your mother language, and get that experience, because it's really, I think it's really positive. Um, yeah. What am I reading here? The mechanism of the contest. Okay, the mechanism of the contest is I'm going to hold up something that I'm going to give away, and then people are going to try to find it. Yeah, a good time is a good time in any language. Right, there you go. All right, what time is it? We're approaching the end, so I feel like this is the Santa Claus moment. So I've had the experience to use these headphones. These are the new Orange headphones. I think they've got two brands. This is the O edition. They're awesome. They're orange. They're black. They're super comfortable. And I'll explain the mechanism of this contest. So if you send me a private message on my Instagram account, which is, it's written here on the bottom of the YouTube for sure. Don't know if it's on Facebook, at My Warped Halo, MYWARPEDHALO. Whoever goes into my DM and says orange headphones first gets this pair of orange headphones. And when you leave me your DMs, leave me your address too. That way I'll know where to send it without having to ask for it again. Hey, Jeff. Hope you're doing good. Good morning. Yeah. Where is it morning now? Where are you watching from? Or maybe I can't read and it says mooring and you're on a boat. I don't know. Anyway, at My Warped Halo on Instagram, you send me your DM, and whoever sends me the first DM that says headphones gets these beautiful orange headphones. And yeah, that's all the stuff that we gave away today. But that's cool. I'm gonna put my Les Paul back in. I'm gonna change Les Pauls. This is my backup Les Paul. This is number 2 right now. I really, really like this guitar. This is a custom shop 1960s reissue, and this has got the Pariah T-type pickups in it. And for those of you guys that don't know Pariah pickups, I met Sean at the beginning of the year, and he wound these pickups for me. And he winds for some really cool artists. Check him out on social media. These are great pickups. I really, really love these pickups. And they're based on the T-top pickups that Gibson made in the early 70s, I think. Don't quote me, because, like I said, I am not a gear library. Anyway, yeah, and I'm playing these through Rocker Verb 50 straight up, no EQ, everything's at 12 o'clock, and a PPC 112 speaker, and this is what it sounds like. And what I'm always so happy about when I play, especially Les Pauls, because I've got 3 different pickups with the selector. I mean, the orange amps really, they catch the tone of the guitar. And yeah, I'm using the laptop microphone, so sorry. But anyway, lead pickup, middle pickup, both of them, and rhythm. Yeah, it's a great amp, Rockerverb 50. All right, I've got somebody writing something. Where do you recommend to get these vintage guitars? Well, lots of questions. Okay, I've always, I think again with the 50s and the 100s, it's a total taste thing. Even with Marshalls, when I used to use Marshalls, that's actually how I got involved with Orange at the beginning when I was in London. The guys at Orange just said if I like my vintage 60s Marshalls, that once I play an OR50, I'm going to love that more. And they were right. And I've been using that amp forever since then. So I'm a 50s guy because I do like the way I push it and there's not tons and tons of headroom, but it really depends on the music. The 50-watt Rockerverb 50, it's really got good headroom for a 50-watt amp on the clean channel. You could really crank it, and it's got that tube cleanliness with the chime that is really, really good. The Rockerverb 100, I've only played those as rentals on stage. They're really super loud, and they sound great. They sound a lot better through a 412 cabinet than any other cabinet, so that's probably a consideration. I use I like using the gain on my Orange amps. I'm not such a I'm not really picky about trying to find the perfect sound where the tubes are overloading on their own. I really like the way the gain stages, the attenuator, and the volume all work together on the Orange amps. I find that you've got a lot of room to find a really good balance, and it doesn't sound like you're using an additional gain for me. I mean, it sounds very natural. But by the same token, I like on the Rockerverb 50 just turning up the clean channel, and it really breaks up nice. You get a way better. I mean, Orange is mostly known for their heavier rock stuff, but I'm more of a 70s blues rock kind of guy, and I really find that I'm using. I've got the gain. Everything's at 12 o'clock right now in my amp, and I'm going through a 112, which I would never use live. It doesn't give me enough stage coverage. But when I'm doing sessions for people in the studio, I'm using a rock reverb and a PPC 112, and it's like, I mean, I'm giving it something, and it's still on. It's really got a great blue sound. And even with the high gain, it really reacts great to volume. If I bring my volume down, it really, you get all kinds, good sustain. So that was probably a little more than you asked for, but 50 or 100, I'd say it's a taste thing. If I was playing with a rock reverb 50 live and I was playing arenas, I'd probably use hundreds and 412s. If I was doing theaters with a rock reverb, I really do. The times that I've used my rock reverb on tour, 50 is great. And the OR50, which is my main amp, that's a 51 amp, and I love that amp. Where to buy old guitars? Chicago music's great. It's expensive. Um, Obviously, they pick. I mean, I haven't been there for a while, but they definitely pick higher range guitars there. I think if you know your guitars and you get somebody that gives you a guarantee, eBay's okay. I don't know if it's still around. There used to be a magazine called Vintage Guitar. I bought some killer guitars out of that magazine, and they weren't too expensive. And like I said, I'm not really that technical. Like, this is my favorite guitar, and I mean, this guitar's beat up, and this guitar new would probably cost double of what it's worth because it's beat up. But for me, it doesn't matter. So I don't know. I think the best deals and the best kind of finds are where you find stuff by accident. Small town music stores. I can recommend you a great place that sells internationally. It's a hit or a miss, but in Indianapolis, Indiana, there's a store called Arthur's Music, and you got to check them out because they've got very fair prices. And every now and then, I mean, they always have vintage guitars coming through there, but they've got some special stuff there, and they've got a pretty comprehensive online site. And yeah, just give Amy a call over at Arthur's Guitars. That guitar store has been in business, Jesus, since I think they've been in business since the 50s, and that's the store that originally had the guitar that Joe Bonamassa made his Epiphone um, the Epiphone V. I think that Amos guitar that originally came from Arthur's Music. And the lady that owns that store, Amy, she's super awesome, and they have a very good selection of reasonably priced vintage acoustic and electric guitars. So I didn't think I'd be plugging Arthur's Music, but yeah, it's really awesome. So hope that helps you out. And did you have another question for me out of there? Yeah, but yeah, finding guitars by accident. I mean, man, that's really the best thing is finding guitars by accident. I found some of my favorite guitars in some really out of the way places on tour. Um, I have no experience with baritone 7-string guitars. I can barely handle 6, but yeah, I mean, 7-string guitars are awesome. All right, you guys. Anything else? If you have any more questions, just send them to me at 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 mywarpedhalo, MYWARPEDHALO on Instagram, and I'll catch you next week with the answers to those questions. Okay, I'll give you one more. New and used guitars. Again, it's really taste, and I am such a taste-based person. It's like if I play the wrong guitar, I really suck. So I'm a hands-on feel guy. This is my favorite guitar. I've had it for a long time. It's a 72. It's great. And this guitar is a brand new custom shop, and it's also great. And I'm really the thing, that surprised me about this guitar is that it really feels like my old guitar, and that's the benchmark of every guitar that I play is my 1972 Les Paul, because that's just, for me, that's the shit. But like anything with music and art and where your body's involved, I mean, it really is taste based. So what might be amazing for me might suck for you. What might be the best thing for you might suck for me. So there really is no rule, and I think that's the way rock music is too, and all the art that I like. I mean, there's just no rules when you're being creative. It's either good and it touches people, or you do it from your heart and it touches no one. But it's, yeah, you can't really judge art that way, I don't think. So anyway, I'm Ken Rose. I play guitar in Hero Junior, and thanks for hanging out on today's Orange Hangs. I'll be back on Monday next week, 4 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. UK. Have a good week. Take care, and lots of love, you guys. See ya. Oh, yeah, quick. If you haven't given me your address and you won something, I'm going to put it up here real quick. So, God, I'm so unorganized. But anyway, all right, so let me go back here and see who Olga won. She wrote the information on my Instagram. And Keith Ketterman, he won all the cables. He's going to send me his address over Facebook or Instagram. And I haven't used drugs in a while, dude. Sorry. Okay, what else? Yep. And okay, so let me just check real quick and see who got the headphones. Jeremy got the headphones. So Jeremy, you're going to send me your address as well, and you're going to get a pair of orange headphones. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. This is Orange Hangs. I'm Ken Rose from Hero Junior. See you next week. See you guys.